Tears of the Kingdom, one of the most anticipated games of the past 5 years, and the highly anticipated sequel to Breath of the Wild, one of the best games ever created. Millions of players are excited to jump into a brand new adventure with Link as their protagonist. I am included in that bunch, but as the weeks have gone by, we have gotten a bunch of new information and releases that have not only brought down my excitement for the release of this game, but also my overall expectations for what will be in it. In this video, I'll be telling you why I think Tears of the Kingdom will be a very disappointing sequel to Breath of the Wild. We're going to start with the well-known information about Breath of the Wild's flaws. To start, this game will be priced at $70 US, which is 15% more expensive than Breath of the Wild and all other mainline Nintendo games. Secondly, we know that Tears of the Kingdom will take place in the same world as Breath of the Wild did. The map will include newly added buildings, structures, locations, etc., along with the Sky Islands to expand the map so we have more to explore. Unfortunately, the expansion with the Sky Islands seems significantly less than what we anticipated and hoped for. Those are some of the more well-known critiques so far with the game. But just days ago, we got a sneak peek into 10 minutes of gameplay from Tears of the Kingdom. In this gameplay, we see lots of new features that the game will include, and from quite a few people's opinions, including mine, a lot of them seem like stupid gimmicks to make the game feel like it has more content. To start, we learned that there will be a sort of a weapon crafting system that allows you to mix weapons with other weapons and random stuff, like full-sized boulders, trees, pitchforks, etc., to create new weapons that don't even seem to follow the laws of physics. This gimmick seems like a really lazy way to add more weapons to the game without actually adding more weapons to the game. Next, we saw a more in-depth peek at the ability to swim through solid objects and land masses, and from what we see, you can swim up extremely high as long as there's any sort of ceiling, floor, or mountain above you. Does this feature add a huge convenience factor to the game? Yes, but it also removes a part of the exploration and getting past challenges that we all saw and loved in Breath of the Wild. Staying on that topic, we have seen many different vehicles and devices in trailers that you can construct using the new glue power that was revealed in the 10 minutes of gameplay. You can make cars, planes, boats, and I assume many more things. This idea seems kind of cool in theory, but when put into the environment of Tears of the Kingdom, it really feels like the execution was off. But we cannot just talk about the bad in the game without bringing up the good. This game does a lot of really small things right that a lot of people hoped for in Breath of the Wild. We also saw a very cool idea that added a new gimmick to bow and arrow usage. You can add items to the front of your arrows before firing them to give them different effects when they hit an enemy. The biggest thing you need to know before going into Tears of the Kingdom is that it will not be the same experience as Breath of the Wild. You will not feel the same charm, and you will not feel like you are playing the same game. One thing that we don't know much about but can be very hopeful for is a way larger variety of enemies. In Breath of the Wild, one of the biggest flaws was the lack of unique enemies to fight. Within Tears of the Kingdom, we have only seen one unique enemy, which would be this weird robot thing that you can see on the gameplay video in the Sky Islands. Apart from that, we don't really have any more information, but staying on the track of enemies, I think we can all hope for more unique, fun, and challenging bosses. In Breath of the Wild, all of the main bosses were a form of Ganon and were all very similar to each other and extremely simple, being able to be beaten within 5 to 10 attempts most of the time. In Breath of the Wild, having a bigger variety of boss battles would be amazing because we really only had 4 or 5 main storyline bosses, and we really didn't have any optional bosses you could come across while exploring the land, apart from mini bosses like Hinoxes and Lynels. And when you did come across a Hinox or Lysel, it would be the exact same as the one before it, apart from possibly slightly different attacks or a different look. luck. Having a feel like Elden Ring with hundreds, or maybe not even, maybe just 50 unique bosses that you can find throughout the land would be an amazing feature to add to give the world more life and personality. Tears of the Kingdom will be disappointing for you if you go into it hoping for a game like Breath of the Wild, because a same character, map, and art style cannot bring back leaving the Shrine of Resurrection for the first time.